And when you do the fluff pack, what changed? Because you don't have a lot of control. Because have more gap. You can explain about this.
So when you're fluff packing it, you're fluffing it until you're just kind of like spreading it throughout the bowl, like you would normally do a
blonde leaf or
blonde leaf. Yes.
Or
so when you're packing a blonde leaf bowl, you kind of fluff it into the bowl.
Yeah, I normally use the example when the people pack double apple.
Exactly.
The traditional one.
Yeah. So you use your hands, you kind of fluff it in there, and you kind of like have a gap in it, and then you put your charcoal on top. Sometimes, most likely, you're going to use the HMD because you don't want the direct heat on there. There's a lot more gap. There's a lot more gap between the tobacco.
Between the leaves.
Exactly. So in between all the leaves, all the stems and stuff like that, in between there's a lot more gap. So you're getting a lot of heat into the bowl.
When you inhale tobacco with a lot of heat too.
Exactly.
Right.
But with the dense pack, because you're packing it so dense, it's so like just one solid piece. So you're heating it, and then you're building channels. That's why when we tell you, when you pack it dense, you poke the holes all the way down to the bottom, and we always
with the forks
to
make holes.
But then also the reason why we tell you that for our way, you do bigger holes and like go all the way down to the bottom is because you're creating channels that go all the way down to the bottom of the bowl. The reason why it has to go to the bottom is because, like I showed you in another video, the tobacco, the flavoring will settle down to the bottom. So even if you packed it in the bowl, it will separate and it will go down to the bottom. You're trying to get to that flavoring out down at the bottom. So you're creating these channels all the way down to the bottom of the bowl. And when you put the coals on there, and the heat will go all the way down to the bottom, but you control it a lot more. Even if you're because I'm saying this with Japanese coals, with experience with Japanese coals, but even with coconut coals, you put the coconut coals on there, you're still being able to control it a lot more than you would if you had, because there's no gap other than the gaps that you created. You made the gaps. You know exactly where the gaps are, and you created that gap, and you're controlling it a lot more when you're smoking it. So you could adjust the heat just by moving it around, whether you want it hotter or cold or not as hot. And with the fluff pack, there's a lot less control, but there's a lot more punch.
When people complain about, oh, it's not strong enough or some kind like that, they can try with the fluff pack, and then you get this punch. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with the way that I like to pack it, it's a lot more controlled, because I'm not looking just for clouds, and I'm not just looking for flavor. I'm looking for a balance of both. So like that's why I like to be able to control it from very beginning to end.
A lot of information, guys.